hopefully I got a little bit of a quote unquote surprise. Fingers crossed. That I'll kind of talk about a little bit closer towards the end of this episode. But yeah, I told you guys last week we were going to try to make this a weekly thing. And it seems like so far, we're going to keep striving. And we're under severe thunderstorm watch right now, so if for any reason, like, I just completely disappear, check on me, okay? check on me, all right?
Check on your friends.
Yeah, check on me, please. But a couple things before we get started. First and foremost, I posted a clip from last week's episode onto TikTok, and that was by far the highest viewed TikTok that I've ever posted. I'm sure, I know people get 50, 60,000 views, but I got my first 1K view video on there, so I'm super excited about that, and hopefully, this kind of gains a little bit of traction, because like I said last week, this is super fun. I'm enjoying it. I love sharing the experience with you guys, and I love being able to share the experience with Trowski and Devin, especially because I feel like they are going to be a little more transparent and up to date than I have been. I feel like they've been doing this a lot longer than I have, or at least we'll find out tonight, because tonight's episode is Young Ravers, and we're going to talk about how we even got into this. Because I have so many people, so many of my friends that always ask me, how the hell do you listen to that? How the hell did you get into this? Why did you start listening to stuff? My mom gives me crap all the time. Like, I jokingly play Excision loud in my mom's kitchen just to piss her off sometimes. Just because I know.
Make a joke about those people. And then you said something about your mom, and I was like, all right, I won't say anything.
I know she hates it, and it's hilarious. But deep down, I think that there's so many different subgenres of the EDM world that it's kind of hard to pinpoint. When somebody says they don't like it, I'm always like, there's bound to be something that you like. I promise you, there's always something that you like, regardless of whether you believe it or not. But yeah. You guys, outside of that, let's before we get into it, let's talk about our weeks. It's almost Friday, and how's your guys' week been so far? I feel like this week's flown by.
Yeah. Trowski, you go first.
You always make me go first. Yeah, mine flew by. I mean, I was supposed to be off today.
Sounds like you're eating too. What are you smacking on?
I mean, a nerd's rope.
Fair.
But it flew by for the most part. I'm off tomorrow, so that's always nice.
Yeah.
I'm excited for. There's a lot of new music coming out this week.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm really excited for. BTSM is releasing a new song. LS Dream. Who else? RL Grime.
Oh.
There's a bunch of new music coming out this week that I'm really excited for.
Yeah, and we're gonna dive into that later too.
Can't wait.
Devin, what about you?
For the music, and I can't wait to talk about it. I've had a pretty great week. Honestly, it's been pretty laid back. Yeah, I mean, I've done all my work. Well, no, I went into the office one day. I've been able to work from home finally. Now that I've started a new job up here, and never got to work from home for the rest of the year, but that's cool. But yeah, I've gotten to work from home. I went in one day with like my friend to like do some body doubling and like make sure we actually were as productive as we needed to be, because sitting at the gaming computer, you can be productive, but there's it's like,
trust me,
it's like, usually I come here to not be productive.
I've had my fair share of experiences with that over the last year, so I completely understand you, dog.
Oh,
completely understand you.
I'm sure everybody does.
Yeah, that's a relatable subject.
Yeah.
But let's talk music. All right, that's what the people come to listen to. They might not care too much about our weeks. It is what it is. So the number one question, like I said, is always how in the world did you get here? I mean, going through high school, middle school, really, I'm listening to Lil Wayne, Birdman, Annie Fresh. Who else was pop? 50 Cent, Kanye. Trying to think who else was popular back in high school, for me at least. I can't even think of any more. Truthfully, I don't really. I mean, I listen to a lot of stuff, but truth be told, I think closer towards my senior year is when I truly saw my music taste start to change, and I specifically remember, and I don't really know if this is considered EDM. I think it is, but trance music. And anyone that knows what trance music is, I feel like it's kind of one of those genres or subgenres that realistically is like escape. I call it escape music because if it like the sounds and synths that they use for that genre is all like it's very very similar, but it just reminds me of escaping from reality. Um, and so whenever I had first started listening to it, I came across this video, and this kind of ties into the next portion of this topic. But I watched this video on YouTube. I used to play tennis in high school, right? Crazy,
All around athlete.
Yeah, I did it all. I did it all. But I used to watch highlight videos before games to get me jazzed up, And I came across this tennis video, and it was tennis highlights from Wimbledon. And it would show clips from Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, Gael Monfils, and a couple others. And so this song on there was called Poppy Holla. And at the time, I didn't know what the song was. I just remember hearing that song over and over and over, and I was like, dude, I love this. Like, I don't know what this is, but it just makes me feel so good listening to it. So I finally started digging through the comments further and further and further down to eventually where I found the name of the song. It's called Poppy Holla by Shakan. And I was like, let me go download this. So I download it and I'm listening to it over and over and over and over. I'm like, dude, I freaking love this song. This is amazing. Well, anybody that knows YouTube knows that you can fall in a hole really quick clicking on videos. I mean, it's super easy. Well, one click led to another trance music song. And I was like, oh, this is nice. This is real nice. And then I clicked on another and another and another. And eventually I started falling in love with the sound. And I was like, yo, I made I think it was a 15 or 16 track CD my senior year in high school. And played that in my car all the time. All the time. Loved it. Could not get enough of it. However, because it was different, I was afraid to show it to other people because everybody listened to the same thing in high school. If you weren't listening to this, you weren't cool, right? I mean, you guys probably recognize that, right?
YMCMB, baby.
Exactly. So if you weren't listening to that, you weren't in it. And so I remember I showed, I think it was Zach Zeiner, actually. I was at his house one day, and I showed him this song, and he kind of looked at me like, the hell is this? There was a music video along with it and everything. He was just like, what is this, dude? Like, nah, bro, this ain't it. And so I couldn't, keep listening to it around people. So I think that initially started my interest in the EDM genre, but I didn't fully dive into it until post-college because, again, I wanted to fit in with people, so I listened to what they like to listen to. And then I kind of, circle back around from time to time in my own spare time. But, I mean, you guys listened to EDM in high school, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely did.
I mean, how did that transpire for you guys?
Go ahead, Devin. You can go first this time.
So polite. Honestly, thinking about this question, so for us, it kind of went what I used to think was that it went I didn't really find it, but our friend Nathan Mitchell, he's a pretty open-minded guy, is how I'll describe him. He's pretty wild, pretty out there, always on to the next thing, and just funny as hell. But anyway, he and Trowski started just listening to dubstep, and it was a little bit before like Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites by Skrillex came out. And then that came out, and I know that was like a big point where a lot of people started listening. And like back in high school, like basically what we did every day was we would get out of school and we would go sit in the parking lot and we would open Trowski's doors to his less than great Dodge Stratus, but it had great speakers, and we would listen to just random dubstep all day.
I actually have a video of that.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
Oh my God, we have to pull that up.
I have it pulled up actually because I figured we might get into that.
Please,
Yeah.
please. I know that people want to see it. You got to share your
Let me
screen.
share my screen.
Speaking of video, did you want our cameras on for this, Jalen, or?
If you want to, you can. If not, it's no big deal.
Oh yeah, I'm ready to make my
I got my
in-person
screen
debut.
shared, so just let me know when you want me to press play.
Yeah, dude, run it.
This is whenever Porter Robinson released his old stuff, like dubstep Porter Robinson. This is like way back in the day. So this is one of our favorite songs on the album. So we sat there and we tore up little pieces of paper and put them in the speaker and just kind of watched them bounce around.
Hold on 1 second.
EDM kids finding a way is what this video was. Even before we knew that we were EDM kids or anything about it, we were like, all right, we got to figure this out.
All right, let's go. Run it.
All right, I'll play it.
And keep taking the motherfucking thing until you get 100% in the bitch.
Like, did you shred paper to see that bounce on the?
Yeah.
That's exactly what we did.
Oh my God.
We were maximum entertained by this too. I want you to know, and I think we never took the paper out. I think
We just kind of left it in there and let it bounce around.
Oh my God.
yeah. And this is what we were
Trowski.
doing. This was working with the bare minimum.
Dude, the thumbs up. Hold on. Go back, please, bro. Oh my God. That is so funny, dude. Oh my gosh. Yo.
Stop sharing the screen.
Wow. Oh my. I mean, I never got into it like that up until, like deep at, like I think it was like maybe 2 years after college is when I actually started to, not really care what people thought and just bang out in public.
Oh yeah. There was actually two. So when you had that on the notes for today, I was thinking about it. But thinking about it, there were a lot of songs. I found this playlist like a year or two ago that was like classic 2010 EDM songs. And I don't know, I guess I repressed listening to all this music, but it was like these are songs that I remember liking in high school a lot,
Right.
and not knowing that they were EDM. And so there's like, hold on, I'm looking at the playlist now. Like Summer by Calvin Harris, Outside with him and Ellie Goulding. This Is What You Came For with Calvin Harris and Rihanna. A lot of Calvin Harris, honestly. I guess he must have been making like friendly music. I Need Your Love, Calvin Harris, Ellie Goulding.
Well, it's funny too it's funny that you mention, not knowing that it was EDM, because I think a lot of people experience that as well when you show them something. I mean, Trowski, you kind of agreed with me, but when you send somebody something or you try to explain to them like, hey, this is EDM, and they listen to it and they're like, yeah, I kind of like this, and then they say, this is EDM, I'm like, yeah, it is. Like, EDM is not just dubstep. It's not.
Right.
It's not what you think it is.
Probably most extreme subgenre.
It's generalized. It really is generalized at this point to where people just kind of lump it all into one specific genre. When there's melodic bass, there's drum and bass, there's freaking house, techno. I mean, there's a
There's
ton
like
of
20
different things.
subgenres in
Yeah.
house and techno as well.
Yeah, I mean it's literally crazy how expansive it can get. So I think that's usually what I kind of like to piggyback off of whenever I have that conversation with people that always ask me, how did you get into this? Why are you into this? I'm like, have you ever heard of Said the Sky? Like, have you listened to Said the Sky? Because if you haven't, then don't talk to me about not liking EDM, because I guarantee I can find one of his songs that you will love. I promise you that. I promise.
Big fact. It was funny to me, Jalen, earlier. Sorry to get off topic.
No.
This is the last time I'll do it, I swear.
You're good, man. Bring it on.
But no, it was funny to me earlier that you said you started off in trance and like listening to trance, because I had no idea that was like your main, like where you started listening to like electronic type music was in trance music. And that's honestly hilarious, because I feel like that's like I feel like it's one of the like smaller like subgenres where
It
like,
is
less people interested. I like trance,
Like,
but like
I'm probably gonna
Chelsea
get
doesn't.
I'm probably gonna get hit with the DMCA for this, but I feel like just for the purposes of people understanding what it is that I fell in love with, this is it. So imagine 17-year-old me sitting at my computer watching tennis highlights. I mean, literally, I'm searching it up. I'm like, oh, what is this? This is kind of fire. Hold on now. I'm scrolling through the comments. I'm like, Poppy Holla. Hold on. Let me look at this real quick.
All the sport highlights you can look up.
And then it's just, literally, I mean, that's literally what it is. That's exactly what it was. It was like 9 minutes too, so it was like the extended version. That was before I knew like there was extended mixes. I didn't even know that was a thing. I was like, what the heck is an extended mix? Oh, it's just the same song with a longer intro. Got it. Cool. Cool.
Yeah, that's the recipe.
For anybody that doesn't know what that is, if you ever come across a song and it says extended mix, it's literally the same song with a longer intro that's usually just boom, tick, boom, tick, boom, tick, boom, tick, and then it goes into the music every single time. Promise
What
you.
they do at the live shows to build up the energy.
I mean,
You're
I
anticipating it.
don't hate it. I'm just being truthful.
It's enjoyable.
Yes.
It's a tease, though.
So I guess then if you guys were listening to it, what was your first show experience or live experience with any type of music? I mean, did you go to an EDM show your first
I know
show?
what
Or?
Drowskies is. I can't wait for Drowski to talk about his first one, because I know exactly what it is. I really
no.
wanted to go, but my mom wouldn't let me.
Oh no.
Yeah, so the first like live show that I really went to was Black Eyed Peas, Ludacris, and LMFAO, which is hilarious. So that was
So
a
true.
combination. But yeah, we went with a group of a group of friends. I think there was like 5 or 6 of us. And it was a good time. I mean, I didn't really go to what you could consider an EDM show really until Bonnaroo, and that was in 2019. And really sitting down and listening to somebody, I guess really my first one would probably be RL Grime. And shoot, that was a good show. I mean, he was just, I don't know, he was incredible. He just has a really good mixture of, dubstep to like some just melodic music to just, I don't know, and like the lasers that he had were just amazing. Like there's a video up on YouTube. I should have pulled it up, and I probably will at some point to show you all. But like, I don't know, he was an amazing experience. And then like, I mean, I got to see so many people that weekend. I got to see Illenium for the first time. We saw Space Jesus. I got to see Zoo. We saw so many people. But Devin obviously has been doing it since what, 2017, Devin? Was that the first Bonnaroo?
Yeah, that was my first Bonnaroo.
Devin's our veteran here.
Yeah.
Dude, I will say that I called very early in like 2017 at Bonnaroo. I called to one of my friends that EDM was getting like so much more popular, and that like in 10 years, EDM would be more popular than hip hop. That is the prediction I made. I made that prediction in 2017. Hit me up in 2027 and we'll see. But it has definitely gotten a lot more popular
It has.
since 2017. And I feel like I was still late to the party going to shows in 2017. Like,
Well, I mean, you see people talk about Porter in 2014, and I'm like, that was quote unquote prime Porter for some people, with Worlds. And
yeah,
I always look back at that and I'm just like, I can't believe that, knowing what I liked back in high school, if I had gotten into things like that, there's no telling who I would be today. Truthfully, there's really no telling, because I
Porter
probably
was
would have.
someone that we played in the back of Trowski's car with the paper bouncing around.
Right.
Yep.
But
Old
I just
Porter.
couldn't. I mean, still to this day, Language is probably one of, if not my favorite song, and I'm still dying for the day that I get to hear him play that live. I don't think I ever will. Fingers crossed at Nurture. Porter,
Oh,
if you
he
ever
will.
come across this video, please, for the love of God, play Language, and I will literally just cry in the field at Columbus. I promise you. But I always say, if I ever got the chance to experience that, I don't know what I would do. I'd go insane.
Transcend.
Literally.
That's
Um,
the move.
It's funny though, because my my first live music experience was not rap, and it was not EDM.
What was it?
It was,
Also, Bonnaroo wasn't my first, but
Oh.
you go ahead.
oh,
You go
well,
ahead.
no,
and then
actually,
we'll
you
come
go
back.
ahead, because I probably got you beat on mine. Truth be told, I probably got you beat.
I don't know. Okay. Well, so my first one was in like it was my first live experience and my first festival all at the same time. It was in 2013. Are there any guesses at all? Like, do you all have any guess what this was?
In 2013.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I can't think of it's something in
Warped
Kentucky, I'm sure.
Tour. Oh my
Warped
god.
Tour, yeah.
Warped Tour. Yeah. That was
Ah.
my first live show and my first festival all at once. A 19-year-old Dev. I definitely crowd surfed and got in the mosh pit and had a good
no.
old time. But then I kind of took a break. I don't know. I didn't see as many concerts or shows until I started going to Bonnaroo and things in 2017. But all right, Jalen, go ahead.
So I went the different route. It was 2017. My first show was Brad Paisley.
Oh my god.
Brad Paisley at Riverbend. And it's so funny because, like, I was in such a country phase for like a year. Like, I mean, I breathed country music. I would literally wake up Friday mornings and go straight to the country tab on Apple Music. Like, you couldn't tell me anything else. I was excited for Luke Combs, anything new from Brad Paisley. Who else was I big on back then? Kane Brown. That was when I first found out about Kane Brown. I mean, I was literally like, I mean, I guess some people that are true country don't really count Kane Brown as country, but I dove deep into country music. Like, I even listened to country music radio for, like, on the way to work and stuff. It was bad.
I respect country music, Jalen, but I'm very confused.
I
by
am
it.
still. So my old roommate Garrett, buddy of mine, we've talked about it. We want to create a new genre that is CEDM, that is country music mixed with EDM, and I think that would be an absolute slapper. Are you kidding me? Could you imagine, like, a country
I'm gonna send you a song
country
right now.
vocals with just the craziest dubstep drop? Oh my god, dude, that would be gas. Get Luke Combs on the hook. Oh, brother. Luke
sending you
Combs
something
and
to
Excision
listen to, though.
2022. All right, I'm calling it. I'm calling it now. That is going to be the best collab of 2022. Excision, make it happen, because I promise you, it'll blow up. And when it blows up, I want my credit. All right, thank you. What did you just send me? Morgan Wallen. Isn't he canceled?
Who? Morgan Wallen or Diplo? I don't know anything about Morgan Wallen. Nothing.
Wasn't
Nothing
Morgan
about
Wallen the dude that said the N word on his back
think so.
porch or
Oh.
whatever and got canceled?
You
Yeah,
hate to see it.
literally.
I had no idea.
I got this video pulled up of
Okay,
Mario
yeah.
Crime from
Yeah, yeah.
Monterey that I don't like to show.
Run it.
Am I good to show it right now?
Run it.
All right.
Oh, I remember this video.
Yeah, it was. I was like, what is these lasers doing right now? It was so cool.
Bro, I'm telling you, man. Like, I just don't know if I would be able to handle stuff like this back in the day. And I don't mean that in a sense of like not being able to hang. Like, I legit would have just got myself into a lot of trouble. I told somebody that. I told one of my coworkers that. I said if I'd listened to EDM back when I was younger, there's no chance that I would be in the place that I am today. I would literally be in some deep stuff. But I guess theoretically, 2017 was when I started to go to live experiences, and so I think I went to 3 shows that year. Actually, no, 2, because I think the Chainsmokers was 2018. Maybe not. Maybe Brad Paisley was 2016, and then Chainsmokers after that. Either way.
Chainsmokers did have the big song in 2017.
Closer, yeah. Which a lot of people, another song that people don't think is EDM, but it is.
Definitely is.
I remember I went to their show here in Cincinnati, and I actually got to see John Bellion, Daya, and Panic at the Disco. The December
jealous.
before. Yeah, dude, that was the weirdest. That was the weirdest thing. That was probably like my most craziest moment. Like, I was literally in the bathroom, like screaming at people, like, "John Bellion's the best! John Bellion, John Bellion, John Bellion! Oh my God, dude, did you see John Bellion?" And it's so funny too, because like Whitney loves John Bellion. So like, I remember one of like the first months that we were together, I was taking her back to her dorm room on UC's campus, and literally like the entire ride we're just jamming out John Bellion. It's freaking hilarious because I was like, wow, look, somebody else that loves John Bellion. This is great. We're gonna get along just fine. Oh man. Well, and then so is there any other shows that you guys went to, single EDM shows, kind of like the Chainsmokers?
It's funny because all 3 of us have actually gone to a show together, but none of us were actually hanging out at the time. And that was that Zed show that was at the stadium, the Cincinnati Reds game.
Yes.
None of us like met up to actually hang out with each other for it.
Well, I was
remember that.
messaging you the whole time too, and I met you and Kristen outside.
Yeah, we met afterwards.
As
Yeah,
we
but
were
we never
leaving.
actually like sat there and watched the show together.
Yeah,
That was
dude.
almost a year ago, or no, almost 2
2
years.
years
It was
ago.
2 years ago because I just had a memory pop up the other
2
day.
years
for
ago.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
Which is such
I
a
couldn't
weird
find you
show.
all because that show was mind-boggling. It blew my mind, and
Were you on the
I went up
field?
there with my chaotic friend. No, I was not on the field. I was in the stands, but what I was on was like 12 to 14 ballpark beers. I was drunk, so I could not find either of you. I don't even really remember like what the interactions we were having were, but the show started and I was like mesmerized. I was seeing kids like doing. I didn't expect Zed to go as hard. And,
I
like,
know.
full-on
I said the
EDM
same thing,
and he did it, and there were like kids Fortnite dancing, like doing the floss,
bro.
all kinds of crazy stuff. And me and my friends were just like we literally took fireball shots and like tequila shots, like the shooter bottles, and we taped them to our thighs to sneak them into the ballpark. And then they just kept extending last call. So we were pretty hammered, but it was still amazing, and we just none of us could handle it.
I remember that show too because I was talking to Whitney, Garrett, and my buddy Nate, And we were saying the same thing. Like, I did not expect him to throw down like that. Like, I was like, oh, he'll play the generalized Zed stuff. He'll play a little bit of clarity. Everybody's going to be in good vibes. And then the next thing I know, I'm like, I'm like, bro, what is happening? And then I got this, 60-year-old couple behind us that's headbanging with us. I'm like, how old are y'all? Like, what is going on?
The future.
It's
That's
nuts,
the future
dude.
EDM right there, where
Facts.
everyone is just vibing.
Facts.
All age groups. Kids are Fortnite dancing. Old heads are
100%.
headbanging.
100%.
That's what I see in 2027.
I can't wait for it. I cannot wait for it. Well, so then if you tie that in, let's talk favorite moments then. Because I feel like it's very, very tough to pinpoint one favorite moment when you've gone to so many different shows and had so many different experiences. Especially when you just went to Reunion 2 weeks ago, it's kind of hard to say that you didn't have a favorite experience that would have came out of there.
It would be much easier to pick a favorite experience from like every show. But
That's true.
That's not. We don't have time for that.
I still think so. I actually have I have a video of mine. Speaking of what we were talking about last week though, where Devin and I first met. This is it. I hate that this is sideways, but turn your head. But this is Excision in Louisville in 2019, and this is when I first met Devin at a show and was like, holy crap, somebody else likes EDM at Western Hills? That's wild.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a
that whole
thing.
show
This was literally my
was
face.
wild.
I saw Devin and this was my face right here.
Dude, that was my face too. I was like, I mean, you probably would never have guessed that I would be into like EDM, and I would have definitely never guessed that you would have. But like, also there are lots of people. You remember Jared Newton and Jordan Kendall?
Mm-hmm.
They love EDM. I've went to shows out in California with them. They love it. They have a
I
great
could
time.
see Jared liking EDM. Kendall,
Dude, he got out
Kendall
to
Pop
LA
probably
and
too.
Oh yeah, they love it. I mean, Jared is trying to come to Lost Lands.
He should. He should.
I told him, I was like,
Come
on.
vibe, baby. Let's do it. But speaking of Zed, I specifically said it in this. We had went to Great American Ballpark to watch Zed. It's a little pop-up show. It was a free show, actually. And then we had already made plans to go to his Orbit tour 2 weeks later. And this in particular was probably the craziest show that I've ever seen, just because of the effects, the lighting, the sound space itself. If anybody's ever been to Express Live, you know what I'm talking about. But Express Live is this venue. It's a double venue, so it's inside and out, depending on weather and time of year. But inside this venue, it's almost like you have your surface floor, and then you go up and there's a railing, and that railing kind of blocks off some of the handicap spots for people. And then it literally dips down into this like pit area. And so the view that we had from this was nuts. I mean, it was crazy. But this is the video that I got of the finale of his show. Oh, come on. Don't do this. Of course, the video quality is crap, but
Isn't that the worst?
Hate to see it. Wow.
Yeah, I remember you sending me this.
Did he have the confetti? Is that what I'm saying?
yes.
Dude, the confetti is always just such an
It's
amazing
something about confetti with lasers matching that just sends you into an absolute state of pure bliss. I mean, it's fantastic.
You can't be sad. You
It's
could try
fantastic.
your hardest to be sad at a moment like this, or not just feeling it, but there is no way.
But I just remember every time like people ask me what shows are like, I show them this video, and it immediately like they're like, "Wow, that looks awesome." I'm like, "Yeah, it is awesome. Believe me. Imagine being there and seeing this." I wish I had my. He had a Daft Punk video or a Daft Punk segment too, where he did One More Time, and that was freaking amazing. But that one was probably my favorite moment of all time, just because that was peak of me like getting into it. Like that's when I was going to like 2 or 3 shows a week. Like I think that same week I literally went to 1975 on Sunday, 1975 on Monday, Zed on Wednesday, Grizz on Thursday. Griffin. I mean, I was going to everything. It did not matter.
I was super impressed about that, by the way. Like, I remember telling Trowski, I was like, I think Trowski mentioned like how many shows you had been to, and I like started counting like out myself. I was like, because I go to a lot of festivals as opposed to just shows,
right?
And I was like, he has been to like pretty much the same amount of stuff I have this year, which is like mind-boggling.
Dude,
yeah, it was impressive.
It was nuts, the amount of stuff that I went to. Like, I mean, I remember there were weeks where I would literally get home on a Monday night, or I guess Tuesday morning, theoretically, at like 2 or 3 in the morning, turn around, go to work. And then most of the times that I did it was whenever I knew the show, like there would be another show in Cincinnati. So it was like Zed in Columbus, Grizz in Cincinnati, Jai Wolf in Indianapolis, Griffin in Cincinnati. So like it was always back to back, but I never felt like I was like doing too much, except for one week I did go to 4 shows, and by Friday I wanted to die. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Like I remember texting Trowski, and I was like, "Bro, I can't do that again. I'm not built for that anymore, dude. It was horrible."
It is. It's harder as we get older to make it work.
It is.
And to just make your body work through a whole bunch of stuff every week. It's hard to have the energy after you get home from a long day at work to be like, all right, now I'm gonna go get hype at this show.
I nap regularly now. I mean, I have to. Just being honest. 28 years old, and I take about a 2-hour nap every day that I get home from work. So be it.
That sounds great.
Yep, nothing wrong with that.
Trowski, what about you, man? I know you've been to a lot of
Favorite
stuff too.
Moment. Honestly, probably just going to Bonnaroo the first time, just because like Devin's always tried to get me to go to something with him, and it actually worked out. Like my brother actually is the one that bought Bonnaroo tickets that year. He couldn't go, so I was like, hey, I'll buy them off of you. So I went, and honestly had an amazing time. Tied with that is probably also going to Lost Lands and seeing Excision for the first time, because he was like one of the first ones I listened to back in high school.
I feel like
Devin and I used to jam out to him.
I feel like watching Excision at Lost Lands, if it's not Lost Lands, Base Canyon, or what's the other one? The big show in Vegas, is it like Palladium or something?
Yeah.
If it's not one of those 3, I just feel like, like it's awesome still. Don't get me wrong. Like still really, really good. But seeing that one of those 3 as your first one, I don't know if I'd ever be able to do something other than that.
Yeah.
I refuse to go.
It was awesome just like being there. Like, it's his festival, so like he goes all out. And I
like no limitations either on, on like his sound or what he's doing, which
exactly
is insane.
And so like I mean I was listening back when he was doing X-Rated, like way back in the day, like it was really cool. Like almost 8 years later, actually seeing him. No, 7 years later, I think, seeing him live. So like that was just a cool experience. And honestly, I mean, getting to see that community was just really cool because everybody was super friendly and nice. And seeing all those cool experiences with that everybody, like kind of how they interact and stuff. Because like, not being somebody that's been to a festival, I was like, wow, this is really cool and unique.
Excision, if you're listening, you heard that X-Rated comment, and I have tweeted at you every time I've seen you, which is like 4 or 5 times now, to please play Sleepless, and I will continue to tweet at you and come to all of your things until you play Sleepless.
That
and
needs
then
to-
I will be completely satisfied.
That needs to be a TikTok series for you. Week 1 of asking Excision to play Sleepless. Week 2 of asking Excision to play Sleepless.
He's favorited my tweets about it. He's favorited the tweets. And I was like, all right, he's going to do it. And I was like, nah, he's not going to do it. In the back of my head at the show, I was like, maybe he'll do it. And then he never does it. Which is fair. That was that song is a decade old now. So
I mean, you just need a throwback set. If he ever does one, you'll have to make sure to go to it.
I got to.
That is too funny. Well, I think another thing for me that's always big too. Like I said, I had that moments, and I went through this. I was trying to go back through and look at all the moments that I'd shared. Like, I think, like I said, 1 was Zed, 2 was Said the Sky when he came to Thompson House, and I was looking for number 3, Griffin, but there was one other one. Oh man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. I probably can't find it. For some reason, I thought they would have been in order, but they're not. Yeah, here it is. So I remember back when I went to Forecastle, that was the first festival that I've ever been to. And a lot of the EDM artists were all put underneath the bridge. Like, they were all on this stage. Not one single one of them got to go to the main stage. And so I was
there too.
Were you?
Yeah,
Really?
I've been to Forecastle the past few years.
I was talking to this guy about Big Wild, and I was like, yeah, I've listened to a lot of his stuff. I really like it and everything, but I don't know if it does justice to watch the video, because the things that Big Wild does on stage is beyond me. Like, dude did an entire song with his mouth, and it literally sounded exactly like the song. I was mesmerized. Like, I gave this dude so much props, because it was amazing the amount of talent that this person had, that wasn't just, standing behind. And again, I hate to generalize DJing or anything like that, but it was going beyond just standing behind the table. But yeah. But you got all these people just crammed underneath the little bridge in the sand. But this show was it was so much fun. Experience something different than just your standard dubstep that people claim is EDM. Well, that brings us to the final bit.
Actually, hold on. I don't think we got to Devin's favorite moment.
Did we?
We didn't.
We
No.
didn't? I thought you
I
said
don't chime
something.
in on other people's.
Jesus, man.
No, it's okay. I had a hard time figuring this out, honestly. So I was gonna be okay if it just like passed me up, because I don't want to say one and then think of it.
We won't let that happen.
Okay, but I think so. Every year on my birthday, my birthday typically falls during Electric Forest,
Mm-hmm.
which is a pretty great birthday celebration since which 2018 and 2019 are the only times I've been. I was supposed to go to 2020, but obviously we know what happened. But
Correct.
so that generally is just like a key, like a top moment. But the second year at Electric Forest, Alice in Wonderland was there, and she played like right at midnight or something like that. And like it was like my birthday started at midnight, and like 12:01, Alice in Wonderland started playing. And so, Macy, my girlfriend, is a really big fan of Alice in Wonderland. So we were there, and she was amazing. The sound on the main stage at Electric Forest is one of the best that I've heard. And she was crazy. At one point during the start, she literally started pumping fog out of the stage and doing white strobes, and then playing thunder over their speakers. And so it was like she literally was like making a storm, is what it felt like,
Yeah.
which was really unique. I'd never seen that. And it was just amazing. And then her show was amazing. And then she ended her show with, I don't know if she does this at every show, but I think she does it fairly often. She does it in her radio show too, where she'll play like someone else's song. And she ended it with Panic at the Disco, I Write Sins Not Tragedies, which was just an amazing. I remember like dancing and like singing like with the random person next to me, like I chime in with the haven't you people ever heard of, you know, like in there.
Oh my God.
And that was pretty amazing. And then later that night there was like a comedy show going on, and I was having like an existential crisis because I was turning 25 or something, you know, getting into my mid to end half of the 20s. And the comedy show was all about how this guy was turning 30, which was relatable. And, you know, he was like, I can't be 30, blah, blah, blah. And then the comedy show was all about how age doesn't really matter. And like the day you turn whatever age, you're really not any different than the day before that. You know, you're still just living.
It's very true.
And so that was a really good feel good moment. So just that general experience is probably my favorite.
You also got to hear Grishtronics for the first time.
Yeah. Also,
That'd be hype.
a couple hours ahead during that day, Subtronics was there, and my friend, you met him, Michael, at Reunion.
Yeah.
He had told me beforehand, hey, if you get a chance, go listen to this Subtronics guy. And I was like, okay. And we just ended up there, and he was going nuts. And then he played Grishtronics, and I didn't even realize that it was like a song that wasn't out, or it was gonna be like the
As big as it is. Yeah.
EDM song.
That 2019 year, you heard every single DJ have at least one mix of that song in their set.
That's very
At
true.
Locklands, we had we were going to have a drinking game that we took a shot every time we heard Grishtronics, and thank God we didn't go through with it, because we would never have done anything. We would have passed out. It was like 17 or 18 times that we heard it.
Golly. Yeah. I mean, that song really was played at probably every show that I can remember, at least. You're like, oh, I wonder what spin they're gonna put on. Oh, drum and bass. All right, tight. Oh, this is gonna be house. Tight. Oh, we got dubstep now. Tight. Oh, somehow they made this into melodic bass. All right, bet. Sick.
Yeah.
They went into the top, you know, whatever songs that are like forever in sets, like Language by Porter Robinson, or like the Skrillex song, two Skrillex songs, Cinema, and then the Call 911 at 911.
Yeah, Scary Monsters.
Speaking of, the funniest thing is, so I meant to bring this up whenever you had talked about that at the beginning. So I remember my freshman year in college, my ex and her friend, we were actually studying for chemistry exam, and her friend was playing that song. And she loved it. She was like, have you guys ever heard of this Skrillex person? Like, I love this. And like, literally, call 911 now. Bam, 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 bam. And like, I was like, what the fuck are you listening to? Like, turn this shit off. Like, absolutely not. And here I am.
Turntables turn.
Yeah, I know. Here I am. 8 years later, like, yeah, dude, this is fire, bro. Oh, that's too good.
I mean, I did that song in like LimeWire back in the day, like that, and half the other Excision songs. So like, it just tells you. I mean, that's one person I would love to see, Skrillex. I don't care more. I was talking to Devin about this yesterday. I was like, most of his new stuff, like I don't care for it, but like,
it's not that great.
Do what?
I said it's not that great.
Yeah, except for his new stuff. The Supersonic song, that song's good, but most of his other stuff, I'm not a big fan. But it's Skrillex, like I have to see him at some point.
I feel like he's slowly, and I don't mean this in any disrespectful way. I'm always going to say that anytime I say a controversial topic. But I really feel like he's starting to trend towards Marshmello, where he's getting away from what his original sound is and just becoming more of a producer style DJ. Like Shockwave was good. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't anything crazy. If it wasn't for House Party with Subtronics, I probably would not have enjoyed it as much.
I like
some songs on Marshmello. I don't know. There was a few. Peekaboo. I like the song with Peekaboo.
That was good.
But I'm a big fan of Peekaboo and his sound.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't surprise me that Skrillex, his sound is changing. and evolving, because he didn't even start off as Skrillex. Like before he was Skrillex, he was what's his name? Sonny something, but he was in the band From First to Last, which is like an emo band.
Yeah.
Fun facts about Skrillex.
Maybe we should do that as a segment. Devin, give us our fun EDM fact of the day. I'll make that a TikTok series.
Oh, I would love to. I had a lot.
Bet. So going forward, let's talk about next week a little bit. We obviously know that there was a few mentions of new songs coming out tomorrow. You've got BTSM first single off their new album. Everybody's excited to hear that. Subtronics and Sullivan King finally have their new collab coming out tomorrow that a lot of us heard at Reunion, which was also very, very fire. What else did we say had some new stuff coming out? Ellis Dream is tomorrow. Is there anybody else that you guys have on your radar?
RL Grime comes up with a new song.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of RL Grime as well, by the way. He's just great. He does a good job getting like all the range of things. So I'm really hyped for that. Didn't I show you Black Tiger Sex Machine, Trowski? Or am I making that up?
You're making that up.
Are you sure? Are you sure
Yeah,
I didn't tell you? Are you sure that I didn't send you like their SoundCloud from their 2018 set at Electric Forest that I attended and tell you to
You
listen
showed me
to
that
it?
at one point, but it was before I already like had heard of them.
Okay. Just checking. I see why I thought that I had showed you them, but it doesn't really matter if I showed you. I was just curious.
Yeah. There's somebody
Duskus.
else I feel like that's coming out with something.
Duskus, if you like Bitbird artists, Duskus is starting a new sound. Starts tomorrow. I'm excited for that. That should be good. Asher, did you fart, dude? It stinks.
He crop dusted you.
Bro, wipe your butt. You stink, bro. Jesus.
I have to wipe one of my dog's butt sometimes because they're so fluffy.
Golly.
Yeah,
there was somebody else that was coming out tomorrow that
I think Zed's Dead already released a song this week. I think it got released yesterday.
I'm really bad at keeping up with upcoming music, honestly.
I
Like,
usually just like or favorite the tweets and then go back the next day to see what I liked and favorited so I can find it. I
usually like a group text like that tells me like, oh, this really cool thing is coming out. Like usually that's how I find new stuff, or like
I creep with
pre-COVID,
that because
show.
I know I get on a lot of people's nerves because literally I'll send you 1,000 songs. Bro, check this out. You can ask Clinton Rutledge. He probably hates me for it because I send him about 5 to 6 songs a day and he never responds. And I'm just like, why do I even share my friendship with you?
I have friends who send me stuff that I don't respond to at the moment, so then I forget to. But I do listen to the music at some point, whether it's like that day or like later on in the week. I'll generally like sit down and listen to a lot of the stuff that's sent to me, and I really appreciate them. So shout out if any of you are watching. Shout out any of my friends who send me music. I do appreciate it. Sorry I don't always reply in a timely manner.
And then kind of backtracking to this past week, we had Grizz, his new Rainbow Brain album came out, and it is amazing. It is so freaking good. I've listened to it probably 5 or 6 times all the way through. I still think I can't wait to hear Tie Dye Sky at Lost Lands. Because there's one part of that song that I know the crowd at Lost Lands is going to lose their mind, and I cannot wait to be that person. So I'm telling you, I'm going to be decked out in my Grizz jersey. Hopefully the shorts are back in stock before Lost Lands, because I'm trying to go fully decked out in my jersey and shorts up in that mug. Like
Yeah, they sold out so fast.
2 minutes. They were gone in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Wait, the Lost Lands passes sold out? that
No,
fast?
Grizz-
Grizz's
Grizz's merch.
stuff yeah.
His
understand
jerseys are
that.
still up, but the shorts, which his jersey's fire. That's probably gonna be one of my favorite jerseys.
Yeah, that patch is really
this one
cool.
still holds the cake.
I need more jerseys. I only have one.
Like, I wish I had a wireless camera so I could take you guys on a tour. Matter of fact, hold on 1 second. Look at this. Look at this. Oh! Ow! Ah,
Astro looking cute.
this is what we're working with here. 1, 2, 3. Wait, this one doesn't count. William Black, Slander, Davin, Kayvon.
You all make me so jealous.
This one doesn't count either.
Yeah, that Wild Youth one I love.
Slushy, Alice in Wonderland, William Black, Millennium, BTSM, Son Holo, Griffin, Solomon
Holy.
King. Like, and now I've got.
This is insane. I have one, and this man has one for every day of the month.
And I still have the Grizz one coming next week. And also the gray and purple or black and purple Sullivan King jersey. The his and hers jersey.
Oh yeah, that one's cool.
Got a solid little collection. I still need an Excision jersey, but I feel like all the Excision jerseys are basic. I want one that's like exclusive. And then I'm also gonna have to get the Said the Sky Red Rocks exclusive jersey this year. So, yeah.
You got to start working on getting them signed somehow.
Mm-hmm.
That would be nuts.
I'll work on it. I didn't realize
I
that
saw-
most of the artists were out in the crowd.
Yeah,
During
I was gonna say I saw
reunion.
where you tweeted at BTSM and Julian replied, or maybe it was just BTSM's account.
Yeah,
Talking about
I
how
think
they're
Julian's
gonna
the
do a
one that
meetup.
runs that.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'm getting something
I
signed.
wish
Oh,
I
yeah.
got crop top. Sad about that. I miss that.
Get you one, dog. Get you one.
I love a
shit.
crop top. I have several, but I just keep forgetting. I'm awful about like getting jerseys and stuff too,
Yeah.
or videos. I'm awful at both of those things.
Oh yeah. I gotta say, I was more so. I hate to be that because I know a lot of people judge people that like record all the time. I'm like, why do you care if somebody wants to relive the memories? Like, I love going back and watching videos.
Oh yeah, I
from
don't
old shows.
care. I'll record.
I really appreciate my recording friends because I don't ever do it, but I do enjoy it. Like, I don't see why someone would hate on that either. I don't see
Right.
why anyone hates on anything that anyone does at an EDM show. As long as you're not hurting anybody, like,
I mean, that's how I feel, but it is what it is. But honestly, at reunion, I feel like I did a better job of being engulfed in the moment than actually recording clips. Like, there were so many different moments that I can personally remember that I'm like, damn, I wish I would have got that recorded because I know I could have made a good video out of it. But at the same time, like, I was so like enticed in what was going on, it didn't really matter.
it's all about balance or having friends like you and Trousky who will record and share with you.
That's
One
true.
of the two.
I tell you another song that stood out to me last week. Anybody that has listened to Trevor's or Said the Sky, whatever you guys would like to refer to him as, We Know Who We Are, the original, fantastic song.
I love that song.
One of my
Yeah.
favorites by him. Have you heard the new Campfire acoustic remix?
I haven't, but I'll listen to it right after I get off here.
Yeah, I want
promise.
you to stay in the chat because I want to hear your reaction because it is phenomenal. Oliver the Kid, dude's vocals are top tier. I mean, literally, this man is a gift from the vocal gods. Like,
That song is normally not like, it's not a style of EDM that I listen to a lot of, because I prefer like a lot of house and like techno type stuff.
Yeah.
And then I also like dubstep, but like every once in a while there's a good song like that, and it's just like I'm in. Like, I'm all in on it. I love this song.
You're like,
I'm
how does
saving it
this
to the
song
library.
exist?
I'm
This
gonna
song is
listen to it
so
every day.
good.
I love that song.
But yeah,
I also recently moved to Michigan, and there's a line that he says in that song about Michigan that I was like,
yep.
you know, personally, I related to, and I was like, cool.
Getting stoned in Michigan.
Yeah, when you talk, I'm listening. I listen to
Your
Mason
nails are
talk,
faded
get
red.
stoned.
My heart, perfect mess. Yeah, love it.
I'm serenading.
The last one too. I don't know if you guys are big into Shadient or familiar with
I like
Shadient's music.
Shadient. I saw him. I believe it was him, or I at least listened to him before the
Yeah.
show because someone he's associated with was there. But Nightmare, the Portal Tour, in California when I was there right before COVID happened. I think Shadient was.
I think he may have been on that tour.
And I listened to it. Regardless, I listened to him some before that, and I have a few of his songs saved on here that I really enjoyed.
His first album or first single from his new album came out last week, and it was really good. It's definitely a different sound, but it's one of those things that was really freaking good. So definitely, if you are looking for new music, I would check out those three for sure. But I think for us, it's probably gonna do it tonight. We're gonna keep trucking. As long as these guys keep wanting to roll with it, we'll be back next week. We'll have a new topic, or we'll have a new episode, new topics, and keep sharing our experiences and hopefully having some fun. One of the things that I was talking about at the beginning that I would like to share is we've gotten set up, and hopefully within the next couple days or week, we're planning on trying to develop this into a legit podcast and not just a Twitch and YouTube segment. And I've got the account set up. I've got the information set up. All it is left for me to do is edit. And I've got the software to do that too. I had that well in advance. So I will keep everybody updated. Hopefully, like I said, next week we can have an update with that. But we'll be coming to your ears on your favorite streaming platform. So share it with your friends, share it with your families. If you haven't seen my TikTok, go check out the TikTok because we're going to have clips from tonight's episode on there as well. And then Monday afternoon, if you missed any of the segments today, you can go back and watch those on the YouTube channel at Nezzy-Kun Gaming. I'll holler at you guys next week, and have a great rest of your night.